Hello, all, and welcome to Anime Jail. My name is Jack,
And my name is Leon.
and today, I've been thinking about this intro for the past few days because there was something
I
I
dare
wanted
you
to
to say
say.
infamous.
No, here's what I'm about to say. I was looking through the shows we've done. I would argue that this is the first famous show that we've done. Would you agree with that?
Ooh. Well,
Like,
yeah, I think famous fits this show. I
okay,
mean,
yeah,
Black Butler is a famous show, but
true. I
as we
guess Black
said,
Butler, yeah.
it's more or less infamous.
Yeah, I'm looking at all the shows we've done right now. I think the most famous, including Fate Zero, is probably Fate Zero.
Yeah.
Probably secondly, maybe Black Butler. Like Look Back was pretty popular, but probably not that. Like Lane, I would say is truly infamous. Like I know I use that word a lot, but Lane actually is infamous. Um,
Yeah.
but aside from that, yeah, I'd say we are going to be taking a look at the famous Fate Zero, or I guess you could say
Ooh.
even the famed Fate Zero. Um, I guess as a slight introduction, Fate Zero is an anime by Studio Ufotable that was released from 2011 to 2012. Um, as far as source material, it's based on a light novel with author Gen Urobuchi. Um, as far as music, we have Yuki Kajiura and we have A Aoki as director. And as some additional info that I found on it, so everyone knows the famous studio Ufotable, and I learned that this was actually the first Fate anime that they did, which Fate is one of the most like profitable series that they've done, and that they're famous for. And this was their first Fate project, and not only that, this was their first, from what I could tell, notable anime project like at all. So like before this, Ufotable was basically a very minor studio that hadn't done basically anything. But Fate changed all that.
Hmm.
As we know, Ufotable is pretty famous or infamous, depending on what you'd like to say.
Yeah. What else have they done? Like which shows?
So they've done another adaptation of Fate that was the light novel, which also, or sorry, not the light novel, the visual novel,
Hmm.
which is the game that I'm actually currently playing, Fate Stay Night. They did an adaptation of the Unlimited Bladeworks route, um, and their current cash cow, which is still their cash cow, which has been going on for a while, is Demon Slayer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
I see.
Fate was their moneymaker for a while, and now it's Demon Slayer.
Mm-hmm. Good to know. Good to know.
But yeah, Fate Zero, Studio Ufotable. Well, Leon, we got into this one because I kind of started getting into Fate recently. And the the last straw that pushed me into getting into Fate was Honkai Star Rail. So I realized that everything comes back to Honkai Star Rail.
I hope there will be a how do you call it, a sponsoring by Honkai Star Rail in the future.
Sponsored by Honkai Star Rail. Everyone out there, start getting into Fate, guys.
Yeah, I mean, how often do we mention Honkai Star Rail?
We're probably
No,
gonna mention it again later when we
yeah,
look
of
at the voice
course,
cast.
we're not sponsored. Just to say that we're not sponsored. I
We
mean,
if we are
how?
ever sponsored, I will be shocked. But yes, we're not sponsored.
So we started this show because of Honkai Star Rail. To keep
Basically,
it
because
simple, we
yeah,
basically started because of Honkai. And
yeah.
I think we should also talk about if we want to pull Saber or not later. I
I
think this should
mean,
be a
I feel
thing
like it's
to
obvious.
do. Not
Maybe not.
not
Oh
too
no!
obvious.
Oh no! This
Let's
is a
see.
premonition of your thoughts on the series.
Let's see. Let's see.
Oh gosh. Well,
So,
I guess, Leon, do you want to talk about your impressions in that case?
yeah, I'd go with my expectations first, I
Yeah,
guess.
yeah, yeah.
And
Sure,
then,
sorry. Your expectations.
well, to be honest, I didn't really know what to expect from this
Yeah.
show. I've heard about it a lot, and I first heard about it while watching Sword Art Online Alicization.
Oh, is it like in that or like
No. But you have the one of the main-ish characters from Alicization is called Alice,
Alice?
and she kind of looks like Saber.
Oh,
That's kind of the joke if you look up like Alice Sword Art Online.
Sword Art Online Alice. How have I not heard this at all? Oh wow, yeah. Oh my god. Wow, little on the nose there. Jesus. That is literally like the same thing,
Yeah, and
except just different color.
that's where I heard of Saber and Fate in general the first time.
Wait, but like how
And
did you hear of Fate from this? Because it's not Fate, right?
no, it's not Fate, it's Sword Art Online. Okay, so little backstory to this.
Okay.
There's the first opening of this show. I don't remember what it's called.
Yeah.
And there is a German YouTuber who
Okay.
made a German version of this song, but he didn't sing the lyrics. He sang what was visible on like in the visuals in the opening.
Oh. What?
Yeah.
Like the English text or like the Japanese text or the
No, not the lyrics, not the lyrics. He
Oh.
sang what was visible on screen.
Oh, I see. Okay, okay.
And then he sang like there's a girl that looks like Saber but is not, something like that.
Oh, I see. Interesting.
And that's that's the correlation there. So
Thank you.
we just we just watched the parody cover, and if I
Yeah.
remember this when I cut this, when I upload this, I'll put the link to the video in the description. If I
Yeah,
remember this.
that's a that's a gem right there.
So
That's a good video.
yeah, and if you listen to this, you'll figure out if I put the link into the description. It's because I don't know if I'll remember this in 4 weeks.
Yeah, true, dude.
Yeah, but well, that's where I know Saber from and Fate in general. But I never started watching it.
Yeah.
I never knew what was going on in there.
Mm.
And also a slight change of topics.
Yeah.
In my opinion, Alicization is the better Sword Art Online. Like in
Oh,
comparison to the first 2 seasons.
maybe we need to watch Sword Art Online for a a future episode because I literally have no exposure to Sword Art Online. I don't know anything.
Ooh. Yeah, well, as I've said, I think season 1 is okay, season 2 is okay, but like 3 and 4 are just better, in my
Interesting.
opinion, as a
Sword Art,
concept.
yeah. Not to go too far down in this, but Sword Art Online is something that I probably wouldn't choose to watch on my own, but because of how influential it was and how famous it was, I definitely want to watch it one day. So like I'm actually down to like do that for an episode one day.
Good to know. Maybe you can start with saying the infamous Sword Art Online.
Dude, I will. I'm telling you. It's my goal to watch every infamous anime because I
Every
want to know
infamous anime.
because I want to know why it's infamous.
I see. So, what were your expectations from Fate Zero?
Well, as a like so okay, I guess as a short like history with me like I won't go too long into this, but I had my only exposure to Fate from the past is like I think it was around like late high school time. I watched the Unlimited Blade Works anime, which is the Fate Stay Night. It's what I mentioned earlier. It's Ufotable's adaptation of the visual novel route, and I liked it, but
Mhm.
I wasn't like getting into Fate at that time. I just watched that. And so I had like a passing knowledge of Fate, but uh, as I mentioned earlier, me like recommending this was also because I've recently started like getting into Fate like in a deeper way. So my expectation is definitely having that sort of hanging over it, which is like all this information that I've been taking in about Fate like recently, and like my interest in the world and characters and stuff. Um, so I guess I did have quite a bit of expectations. One thing I think is that Fate is like, because you said before that like you knew about Saber from that video and stuff, and like just like Saber is like very famous, but like you didn't watch Fate, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like a lot of people, and maybe you as well, didn't watch it because it's kind of like it's it seems like very overcomplicated to get into.
Hmm.
I'm not sure if that's why you didn't watch it, but like it, I think on the surface people think Fate is very like it's like a very like complicated, hard to get into series. But from what I've learned about it, it's really not too hard. It's just kind of like breaking that barrier of like getting past not knowing anything and just like start learning about like what shows you need to watch, what like games you need to play. But as far as my expectations, I had already watched the anime as I mentioned before. I'm playing the game right now. I guess my expectations were like something along the same lines as what I've already seen from Fate. Um, and I'd say those expectations were met and I guess exceeded. Um,
Hmm.
and we can obviously get into more of like why I think that is, or like what I'm talking about. But but yeah, I just thought it would be another Fate story. Um, I guess to provide some context for people who don't know about it, Fate Zero is the prequel to Fate Stay Night, which was the original game slash anime adaptation. Um, and we started with this. This was the first one you watched, right? The first Fate thing.
Yeah, the first
Um,
fate thing.
and some people don't recommend starting with Fate Zero. I like we kind of came to the conclusion that it doesn't really matter too deeply, like because some people said you could start with it, so I was like, uh, I kind of wanted to watch it. Leon was fine with it, and you didn't mind starting wherever. So
I
people said,
think
yeah,
I think the key for these franchises, like Fate or Monogatari series, which also seems
mm,
pretty complicated. The thing is, probably you should just start where you want. You know, like if
mm,
it's for you, you'll watch everything anyway. So I think the
I
problem is
yeah,
just to you should just start instead of trying to figure out what is the perfect order to watch.
dude, I could not agree with that more. I think that is a that is like so true. Um, and because like you said, like if you like it, you'll start to watch it and you'll start to wonder about what else is in the series, and you'll start to watch like other things and like just like get interested in it. And I think like holding yourself back to like a rigid watch order is very like it'll just like bog you down, like you said.
Yeah.
But not not to go too far down this rabbit hole, but that's one of the reasons why I've come to love the Toho multimedia franchise so much, is because with Toho there is no like true like starting point. Like you can watch or play anything, and it's
Hmm.
like any place is a good place to start, and it's like it's so like prevalent that like you can enjoy it in so many ways. But anyways, I could talk about Toho for a while. Um,
I know.
Unlike Toho, the thing about Fate is that Fate is a collection of stories. Um, Whereas like Toho is more of like a world that is created through games and through fan works. Fate is a collection of mostly stories. Like there is a world, but I would say like the actual story matters a lot more. Um,
Mhm.
and I think that's definitely true with Fate Zero as well. But I guess if you want to get into that story, we can kind of maybe start with that. We did mention that we'll probably not get too deep into the story, but there are some things we definitely want to talk about.
Yeah. So first things first, the opening scene.
The opening
where
scene.
this baby is born.
Yes.
And let me tell you, I have still no clue who this child is.
Yeah.
That will probably come out in the second season, which we have
Yeah,
not watched. We've just watched the first season, for first
Yes.
13 episodes.
Yes, as a disclaimer, we've watched the first 12 episodes, if you count it like
13.
that, first season, whatever. So sorry, 13. Sorry.
Yeah, and basically you just thrown into it,
Yes.
which is more or less a good thing, I guess.
hmm
So I got really confused with the names on here. So if
Yeah.
if I mix up names, please correct me,
Okay.
because there were too many names and I still have no
Yeah.
clue
There's lots of out there names
about
as well.
some of them. But yeah, you try to figure out everything by yourself just while watching. And I mean, I think I got the basic idea in the first episode,
Yeah.
that you have these 7 heroic spirits, and
Yeah.
they're kind of part of the Holy Grail War. I think it's called
Right.
Seihai
Yeah.
Senso,
Yes,
if I remember.
Seihai Sensor. Yep.
Seihai Senso.
Yeah.
And it felt like in the first episode, I felt like it's basically a huge war of families.
Yes. I would definitely call it that. Yeah. It is a family battle.
Yeah.
And yeah,
What
when I
else
say
is there to
family,
say?
true.
Yeah, go ahead.
I think it will probably be helpful because I think Leon mostly just laid all the pieces down, but I think it'll be most helpful to start out with the story by starting out with just like the general like structure of Fate, which is basically the idea of this this Grail War, this Seihai Sinsel. So basically, like, I'm not a like expert yet. I'm still learning a lot about Fate, but basically what I know is that there is a Grail, which is made up of something. It's something like the Earth's like blessing or something like that. But basically, anyone who gets the Grail can make a wish, and um uh basically like any wish you want can come true. Um, and so basically to fight for that Grail and fight for that wish, all of these families come together and they have the ability to summon servants who are based off of historical figures, like Leon was saying. Um, so as far as like the famous ones, you have like Saber. Um, Everyone calls her Saber, but she's really just a Saber class servant. Her actual name is Artoria, and she's based off of King Arthur.
Mm-hmm.
So that's just one example. As I mentioned, there's classes of servants. So there's like archer classes, rider class, saber class, and such. And we see various examples of those classes in the servants in Fate Zero and in Fate Stay Night. But yeah, that's the basic setup of this whole like season and show and multiverse. Honestly, is like you have 7 masters, 7 servants, and they're basically all fighting for that Grail. But I think part of the interesting aspect is that it's not just like an all out fight to the death. Like sometimes these servants and masters will like work together with other ones to kind of further their own goals, which I think is kind of interesting. And it's it's kind of cool how they all have a different outlook on why they're getting the Grail or like what wish they want to come true. And we can get into just some like basic basic characters in story, basic characters in like plot points of Fate Zero. But yeah, honestly, that's I feel the best way to describe not just the first episode, but like the main
The
plot
main
structure.
idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was a good description. I personally didn't get that deep into it.
Yeah, no, like I like what I just said is basically from like a bit of research that I've done. So it's like I'm still learning a lot about it. I don't know much, but like if you just go into this knowing nothing, like this show does kind of because Fate Zero came out after the original Fate Stay Night, so it kind of assumes that you know the main idea around Fate Stay Night. So if you don't, then I definitely see how it's completely just kind of like no help at all. Like you're just kind of like brought into this world.
Yeah, but that's fine. Like I assumed that would happen,
Yeah.
and
Uh-huh.
that's fine for me. And I mean, in the next episodes, I got to know a bit more, like about
Yeah.
masters and servants and what's
Yeah.
exactly going on there, or not exactly, but what's going on there.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
A pretty interesting character for me was Uryu
Which one is that
as
again?
the murderer.
Oh my God. Yeah, that crazy guy. Yes. Dude.
Yeah, and I think he was like one of the more interesting characters for me
Yeah. Uh-huh.
because the others didn't really do too much like the other masters, you know.
Hmm.
Like yes, they were around, but not that much in the focus.
Dude. Uryu and his servant. What was that guy's name? Hold on.
Yeah, you'll speak the French. I don't.
Dude, you speak French. I can't.
I don't speak French, huh?
You don't know it. You don't know any of the pronunciation?
No.
Dude,
I
if anyone's
just
gonna know, it would be
assume.
you. I do not know.
I just assume, you know, like
Yeah.
Gil de Rey. I have no clue.
Yeah, let's
I'm
find
I'm
this out.
honest. Let's figure this out.
French.
Just look his name.
True. What the
Gilles
hell?
de Rey. Okay.
Yeah, Gilles, I guess. Gilles
Yeah.
de Rey. Interesting. I wonder if this is a location in France because it's like from this area.
Maybe.
Gilles de
I
Rey.
think he's known as a like serial killer from France,
I see.
which would make sense for his
Oh yes.
appearance in the show.
Wow. Oh my goodness, he died in 1440. Wow.
Well, old guy.
But yeah, so this is another example of being based on a historical figure. But dude, in the anime in Fate Zero, he's creepy, dude. His eyes are like bugging out, and dude, we'll get into this later. But
Yeah.
his voice actor was going crazy.
Yeah, that's true.
That guy, and also his master Uryu, that their voice actors were like I don't blame you for putting those guys high up because they were going insane. And one thing to bring up about the plot, I think I'm just gonna kind of like bring up some points that I kind of thought were interesting because I don't really want to go through like the like entire plot. But dude, this show was darker than I expected. Some
What do
of
you
the
mean, all the children that were sacrificed?
yes. What the fuck, dude? Like, I had heard that like it was a dark fantasy, but like I was not expecting the amount of violence against children that these two people were going to be like doing. Like
Yeah.
you literally see kids like blow up, and I'm like, oh my god. And like you see like okay, should we put a content warning? I
I don't
just
know.
realized that before I was about to say that.
We'll see. Just go ahead.
Yeah, but anyways, yeah, like you see like kids
Getting crushed.
getting crushed, but also like nailed to the wall and stuff. And I
Oh
was
yeah,
like,
true. I forgot this. I just
yeah,
remembered where he like crushed this kid's head with his hand.
Yeah, dude, I was, and like to be fair, it like yes, it is showing it, but it's not like too like it's pretty graphic, but it's not like showing kids dying on screen type of thing. But it is showing dead kids, so I mean there is that. But enough talking about that. It but like all in all, I will say I was shocked about like at the violence that was shown. Like I was not expecting that
I
for
just assumed that would be like normal for Fate because I have no prior experience with
yeah.
this franchise.
Yeah, I guess a character that stood out to me, if I had to say, I mean, honestly, I have a few, but um, the main character of this series, Kiritsugu,
Hmm.
he's shown in the first scene and
Oh,
in the
that
first
guy,
episode.
yeah.
Yeah. One thing I think is cool about him is, and it shows like the different ways that people approach the Grail War. Is that he like kind of works like as an assassin and he doesn't mind using ulterior motives to win.
Hmm.
So like he's like using guns to like try to shoot other masters and stuff like that, where it's like that's typically not either allowed or like thought of as normal. Um, but also like one question I had was that so basically like from my knowledge the main character of this show, Kiritsugu, he basically made uh Iris Feel, which I'm gonna call Iris
Hmm.
from now on. He basically made her as a like human homunculus hybrid so that he could have a child with her who would one day be a part of uh the the Grail War in the next series, which by the way that's who their child is. That's who that baby is. Um
Okay, and what's its name? Do you know
the
this?
baby
Yeah.
the baby's name is Ilya. Ilias
Ah,
Field.
okay. Okay, so I didn't
On
mix that
Iris,
up.
yeah. So they have a kid that is like his creation, and I believe he's doing it so that he can win. And I know that his motive is he wants to like like he wants to bring an end to the suffering that the Grail War has, or like to the
Hmm.
suffering of mankind by like winning at all costs. I'm not sure for certain, but I think like his wish is like he wants to like uh like I said, like he basically wants to like bring like world peace, but he's conflicted because he has to kill people to win this. So it's like it's kind of like a conflict.
Paradox.
Yeah, but
Paradox thing to do.
yeah, it's like that's one example of how it shows people like it shows how people approach the Grail War. And I think like some other characters like Gilgamesh show like other sides of it. Um, Artoria
Yeah.
has her own backstory, uh, and she has her own like regrets about her country. But
Yeah, and
I think it's cool to like see all these.
that's true. But I feel like every spirit fits kind of to their master.
Yeah. Yes. Uh-huh.
Like there's this slight connection, maybe not really between Iskander and his master.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
There's like a huge difference, but it's still a good setting.
Yeah. Also, I don't think you would expect this for me, but is Iskandar was actually one of my favorite characters.
But I get that. Mine
Yeah.
too. Mine too.
Yeah. I actually so I want to say fully that I've heard of some people like maybe he gets better later, but I've heard some people say that they love Waver like this guy like
But
is Skandar's
why?
master. And I'm like, yeah,
He's
dude, like
just
he's so annoying.
yeah.
But that being said, I like that he was paired with someone like Iskandar because Iskandar is like always pushing him in the opposite direction and like trying to like show him that like there's a way to be a hero or like basically like how to be um not just manly but like how to be brave and like how to like sort of be a good hero, I guess. Um, but I did like their dynamic.
Yeah, that's true. Then we had Berserker, who was not that often in the story.
Yeah, he wasn't really featured
He
that
wasn't featured
much.
that much, yeah.
Same
But he
with
was in the
his
story.
master. Yeah. Which
Yeah.
some of this stuff is going to be a fault that we haven't watched the second part of this series, so we are missing some things. I was really tempted to keep watching because of episode 13 ends on a cliffhanger, and I was like, dang. But we've had some confusion in the last episodes from me like watching too much, so I was like, I'm gonna hold myself back. I'm not gonna watch anymore because I want to know the exact amount that you know. So I did not watch that. But dude, I just noticed something.
Okay.
So, do you remember this girl from the
Yeah.
show in that one episode?
Rin. You should
Rin
say her
is
name
a
because nobody can see your screen except for
that's
me.
true, that's true. That's true. Rin is a main character from Fate Stay Night, which is the like main series.
Yeah.
And her father is this guy.
Yeah.
But they spelled her father's last name and hers differently on this page. They spelled his father's Toosaka, Tosaka, and hers Tohsaka. That's just a funny little thing.
Mistake.
Yeah,
They messed
but
up their analyst page.
not surprising. But speaking of, I bet you 100% this was a filler episode. But I actually really like the episode where it focuses on Rin, and she's like she basically wants to become a better like mage, and she's like practicing, but she
Yeah.
finds like as a
The
kid
children.
yeah, she finds the children, and the Uryu or whatever, Ryunosuke or something, and I don't know, it was a nice little episode. It was a nice like change of pace. But I'm pretty sure that was a filler episode. It
Yeah, it felt like a filler.
it felt like a filler episode.
But, like, isn't Rin like more important in other Fate?
Yes.
Seriously, like I felt so the first time I saw her in episode 1, I knew who she was, so I assumed she'd
Yeah.
be more important in other Fate. So I also thought she'd be more important here, but she wasn't. So
Yeah, it felt a bit like an MCU like flashback scene where it's like, hey, y'all remember that character? They're a kid during this. And it's like thanks for the reference, buddy. But hey, it's what you get with like crossover media, so I mean it makes sense, but
yeah, true.
But yeah, I like that episode.
So let me
As
tell you,
far yeah, tell me.
one of my bigger problems with these shows
Okay.
were the fights.
Really?
Yeah. They were animated well, okay? Let me say that. But just the time they took for these battles just didn't feel right.
The time.
Yeah, they
Like-
took too long.
Really? You think so?
Yeah. But also,
I-
I have to say, I'm not a big fan of fighting shows in general. So that's to be said.
Yeah.
I think if you're a fan of this kind of thing, it's a good way to like use 2 episodes for a fight.
Yeah.
But it's not for me. You know, like I mean, you know what I watch and what I enjoy watching.
Yeah.
And maybe you, dear listener, know that as well by now. I mean, we're in episode 11.
I gave Sasako 100, guys. Like, fighting is not my top genre. He gave Orange 100.
So
What do you expect
fighting
from this
is
guy?
not my top genre.
No,
Yeah,
it's
but-
I'm right there with you. Like, I mean, you know me. Like, I do like my handful of shonen, but like definitely battle series and like fighting is not really my. It's not my reason for watching anime. Um,
Yeah.
that being said, I don't remember a lot of too long fights for me personally, but I will say like Leon said, like while watching these fights, and I kind of have to say more about the animation and direction later once we get into that, but like these are some of the best fights that I've seen. And
Okay.
I'd say probably now okay. When I say best fight, I mean not from a like a story standpoint, like it's the hypest or something, but like it looks the best, I guess. So
Yeah. Okay. I
maybe
get that.
maybe I can save that for like animation, which I mean we knew that was going to be a conversation for this episode, but yeah, I in general I thought the fights were they look pretty cool. I yeah, I thought it was pretty good. I felt the story was a good balance of fighting and not fighting,
Hmm.
but I don't know if you agree with that.
Not 100%.
Mm,
I mean, especially the last few episodes were really conversation heavy.
they were, yeah.
And in my notes, I just put something like, okay, a lot of seemingly unimportant conversations. And in the next episode, I put in more useless conversations.
Yeah, I feel like these are the kind of things where, and I'm not like saying that you don't know anything, but it's like it it kind of like it benefits people who know more about these like series because like they kind of like I don't know, I feel like they have more of an insight into it, but I mean it's true that they did talk a lot. Um,
Yeah.
what what did you think about that one conversation with Saber, Iskandar and Gilgamesh when they were like sitting down together, like drinking?
The drinking
Yeah,
game, or like the
yeah,
drinking. Uh, yeah, that was funny.
yeah,
I'd say I like the idea of Iskandar like
yeah,
sitting together and like talk. I mean, it was obvious that nobody of them would like be submissive to the other.
yeah.
I found it a good idea to let Iskandar demonstrate his power
Yes, yeah.
against Assassin.
Yeah, oh yeah, like when he kills like all those guys and like brings them into the like some like alternate dimension.
Yeah.
Yeah, true, that was cool. Um I uh I I I bring it up because I like that scene a lot. First of all, I feel like it was cool that all of them are kings from their own past.
And from
And
their own perspective.
yes, exactly. And they all approach being a king differently. Um Artoria was a king who was she served her people, and she was so like loyal and so like headstrong about basically protecting her country and people that she like lost sight of herself. And
Mhm.
basically Iskandar is saying like that's no way to like lead people. Like you need to be like jovial. Like you need to uh basically in encourage your people. Um whereas someone like uh Gilgamesh is just saying that like you need to enjoy yourself and have a good time as king and uh I just like those like differing like points of view of like how to be a king.
Yeah.
And how like Iskandar like doesn't like recognize Artoria as a king uh anymore because he like doesn't agree with her. Um
Mhm.
but yeah, that scene was pretty cool. I yeah, I liked it.
Yeah. On topic of Iskandar, you have seen the Hobbit movies, right?
Yes.
Okay, now we're getting back to my crossover thoughts.
Uh-oh.
So I have to say, the first time I saw Iskandar, he reminded me of Beorn.
Beorn.
Yeah,
Dude, that is
you
so,
know,
yes, that is so accurate.
he acts like him. He looks like him.
Yes.
You know, and also like
He's
this scene where
he's so
Beorn says like,
huge.
"Yeah, that's true," and the scene where Beorn says like, "I hate dwarves, but I hate orcs more."
Yes,
Like
yes,
that's kind of what happened in this scene. Like I hate
yeah,
you too, like Gilgamesh and Artoria, but I hate assassin more. So
exactly.
I'll demonstrate my my power.
That's a good like reference line because like I said before, it shows scenes of like Iskandar and them like working together. But like you said, he says himself like we're not like allies, but we need to fight the same enemy right now.
Yeah.
So like it I just like that dynamic. He's like Beorn if Beorn was a little more jovial, a bit more like
Mhm.
happy.
Yeah.
Because Beorn is pretty mean, from my memory.
Yeah. Well, that makes sense for his
True. I mean, he is a
past.
bear. I'm pretty sure didn't because Beorn like turns into a bear, obviously, but
Yeah.
didn't Tolkien get the word for his name from like a language some language's word for bear?
I'd assume. I mean, the German word for bear is Bär, so we'd have
I
some
see.
similarities in there.
Okay. Drawing from both Old English and Old Norse, as well as Tolkien's own creative language. It's a homophone of the Old Norse word Bjorn, which means bear. Interesting. But
So I
yes,
think we gave a good overview
yeah.
over the story. We have the main elements in here, and we talked a bit about the characters. And let me tell you, I get so confused with all the K people.
With all the what people?
The K people, like everybody that started with a K.
Oh,
Until the
Kiritsugu,
end,
Kire,
I couldn't.
Kotomine. Yeah,
Karia,
Arya.
Kenneth.
Yeah.
I had so many problems distinguishing them while watching.
That makes total sense. I think Kiritsugu and Kire Kotomine are not common names in Japanese, so they're kind of out there. Also Kainith. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. There's a lot of them.
Yeah, like I also didn't really get the dynamics between them.
Yeah.
Like some of them were kind of working together,
Hmm.
I think, over the phone.
Yeah, they were video calling.
Yeah,
No,
something like that. I don't know.
I think
Uh,
part of it is that we didn't watch the whole thing, but yeah, I mean, there's just some things there we're gonna miss. But all I knew is Kire Kotomine was kind of hired by Tokiomi Tosaka, or like not necessarily
okay.
hired, but like he was like I'm pretty sure he like asked him to work together with him so that they could both like work for the Grail. Um,
Hmm.
but I don't know. Uh, Tokiomi doesn't seem like a trustworthy guy, but Kide also killed Iris and Artoria, or no, killed he killed that one girl.
Maria? What's it called? Maria? Maria?
Yes, Maya, I think.
Maya. Oh yeah, yeah. But like with
But
the
like,
IY thing.
yeah, Maya. That's very weird. But yeah,
Huh.
I actually liked Kire Kotomine. I liked him a lot, possibly because of his voice actor. But I thought he had a good dynamic, and I'm pretty sure him and Kiritsugu are like gonna go like head to head. Like they're kind of like the main two guys by the end,
Okay.
um, from my knowledge. But
Yeah, I have no idea.
yeah, but yeah, I think we've covered a lot of the parts of the story that I wanted to cover. it's a surprisingly hard story to talk about because
Yeah.
I feel like it's a very like story focused like series, so I feel like it should be like pretty understandable to talk about the story, but it's kind of hard to not hard to follow, but hard to like say what happens because
Mm.
like you said, like most of it is just like them talking about their strategy or them fighting for the grail. So it's like the story's important, but it's almost not a deep story, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. Well, then maybe we should just start with the voice actors.
Yeah,
Just talking about the main
true.
important ones.
Kind of segue.
I mean, we shouldn't cover every main character,
Yeah.
like the important ones.
What standout voice actors did you have? Like what were your kind of
I mean, we've talked about the murderer couple,
Yeah, true. Oh my God, dude.
so I think we
We
should
have
obviously start with them.
the master who is Ryunosuke Uryu, and it is Akira Ishida. I know him from some stuff.
I know him from
Uh
Honkai Star Rail and
oh my
Genshin
God,
Impact.
here we go. Let's see. He's Luocha from
Luoka. Woo!
Loka. Oh, he's this guy. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I know him from some stuff. He's really good. And the servant, what was it? Gilles Dere or something like this.
Yeah, something like that. Every French person will now judge us, but
Yeah, our French listeners. Um, I don't recognize he is in Honkai Star Rail though.
yeah, he's Mr. Rekha.
I don't recognize his picture, but seems he hasn't. Maybe he has done stuff. Not
But
a
doesn't
whole
look
lot.
like too
Yeah,
important or good stuff.
but they were both
This,
pretty good.
like every role of his looks just fucked up.
Yeah, like the like just like in Fate Zero.
Yeah, maybe that's his thing.
But honestly, on the whole, I had nothing negative to say about the main cast. I think everyone was very good.
Yeah, they all
Um,
did a good job. I'd be interested to figure out more about Gilgamesh's voice actor because I think
yeah,
he had a very good attitude,
he did. Yeah,
like for this role.
I was actually looking into this guy before we started this. Actually, I think I can go to my.
He's in Sword Art Online.
This is my list, so it shows what he's in from my list. He's in Evangelion as this guy, Toji. He's also Cardcaptor Sakura's brother.
Okay, interesting.
He's that guy in One Punch Man.
He's an
I
Angel
know him.
Beast.
Oh really? Oh yeah. He's this random guy.
He's Igarashi. I have
I
no
don't.
clue who that was.
Me neither. But yeah, he's pretty big. I'd say he's done quite a bit.
Yeah, he's also in Jujutsu Kaisen as
Oh
the
yeah, he's so
panda.
scary. Oh, he's the panda.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Well, who else is
Um.
there? I mean, we could also talk about Saber, so
Yeah.
Artoria. I
Yeah.
mean, that's what everybody wants to know, huh?
That's true. That's true. Ayako Kawasumi. Um. She is in Genshin.
She's Shenhe.
She is Shenhe. Let's see what's up with this. Shenhe.
An ice
Oh,
spear,
okay.
I
You're
think,
cute.
yeah. Or a lance.
You don't
I
really
don't
look like
remember.
Saber.
That's true.
But Saber will be in Genshin eventually, right?
No, she'll be in Hawkeye Star Rail.
Oh, that's right. Um. Oh, she's this girl from 16-bit. Oh, okay.
She's Cody. Interesting.
For some reason, I thought she hadn't done much, but yeah, I've seen other stuff with her in it. I think she did a really good job.
Oh, she's in Girls and Panzer.
She is, yeah. She's a minor. Oh, She's the American girl. Kay is the main character on the American team.
I see.
That's really funny.
Do you call that a
Also,
minor character?
yes, dude. There are so many characters, and like it. Girls and Panzer is another thing. Like we can talk about that one day, but I can't get into that right now.
Okay, good. Don't.
But I did see something. I need to look it up, but I'm pretty sure the voice actress of Saber actually went to the grave of uh King Arthur and like apologized for like her impact on the on like how people see like King Arthur's like legend and stuff like that. Saber visit,
Really?
yeah, and she like apologized on video or something. I had no actually I think I did want to mention Iskandars, who is very like prominent. That was probably one reason why I liked him a lot is because of his voice actor. His voice actor had such a deep and like bellowing voice. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
he's all for one. I see.
For my hero?
Yeah.
Okay.
His name is Akio Otsuka. But yeah, he there's not many voices like his. Like it was just so like deep and like growling. I was like, oh my gosh. I like his voice a lot.
Mhm. Yeah, me too. But I don't know if I've seen stuff that he did.
I
Probably
think,
not too much.
but yeah, I
So
guess
that's the
that's
voice
voice
cast.
actors. Yeah.
So I think the next big part before animation is something we, of course, should mention and need to mention. The
Musique.
music. Woo!
La musique.
La musica.
La musica.
And well, the OST was good.
Yeah.
Nothing to complain there.
Yep.
The
As
ending, the ending was a bit boring for
oh yeah,
me.
how did it start again? It was like
I don't even remember.
I mean, I do not remember either. I just stopped listening to it.
Yeah, that's why I know it was boring.
Yep.
But the
Um
opening, I mean, I haven't listened to a Lisa song in a while,
yeah.
but I knew this song, and man, it's a good song. I liked it a lot, and I also felt like it conveyed the idea of the dark fantasy
Mm-hmm.
that Fate was. And as you know, I'm a big fan of that.
Of Fate.
Uh huh.
Yeah. No, I but yeah, I guess there might not be a Celsius version, which is sad. Because I have to say, I I think the opening's fine. I wasn't the biggest fan of it. I feel like I've talked with this with Forrest, my cousin, uh, and with you a bit. I think we brought it up when we were talking about Sayudi one time. Um, but I just think that like Lisa is such a interesting artist because some songs I hear by her and I really like I like the Demon Slayer opening one. Um
Mm-hmm.
and I like the My Hero ending 3, I believe it is. Uh but I don't know, like there's a lot of Lisa songs I hear and I'm just not impressed. Like I'm just like, it's fine. And that's kind of how I felt about this one, which was kind of unfortunate because like I wanted to have some piece of good music because I feel like um I'll kind of just go into OST. I think the OST is kind of on the same par, like it's good, not great for me. Like there
Yeah.
was no track that I wanted to go listen to by itself. Like it was kind of just, yeah, it was good. It was just solid fantasy OST. Um
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, I'd say overall, the opening nor ending both did not stand out to me, and the OST was just kind of like it was there and it was doing the job well, but it wasn't standing out to me.
Yeah, but I feel like Lisa is like she's just too well known, like too overhyped.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
that's
yeah,
why
yeah.
one, I don't know, expects too much maybe.
Maybe, maybe.
I mean, it's at least for me, it's the same with Yoasobi,
Oh, all right.
because I feel like every song of Yoasobi follows the same scheme.
It is very, yeah, very schemy, very like similar-ish.
Yeah, and so there is like the variation is missing somewhere,
Yeah,
and they're still making good songs, but I think they're just too well known, too overhyped
yeah.
that I
Um,
myself could think, you know, that it's good, like perfect.
yeah. I I'd say it's kind of it's very similar with Kenshi Yonezu, if you've heard of him.
Yeah.
He's so famous and he's so like overblown that I don't know, I haven't heard a song by him recently where I've thought, "Oh wow, that's really good." Like I'm not sure if it's just cuz he's so famous, but it's just like I don't know. Just kind of seems like it fell off a little bit. But maybe I'm expecting too much from him. But,
Yeah.
but yeah, I
So,
was overall not too impressed by it, but I
okay.
guess to move on to what I was impressed by and what I knew I would be talking about a lot in this episode, um, is the animation, and I'm going to add on the direction. Um,
Uh-huh.
that's where you wanted to go, right? Next, kind
Of
of
course.
with that. Okay. Would you like to go first on that front?
Sure. I mean, I don't have to say too much.
Okay.
I mean, the fights were animated pretty well. We had some good shots there if you're talking about direction. Uh, some really good fighting shots. They could have been like more. I felt like everything was a bit too dark, at least the night
True.
scenes.
Everything was a lot dark. Yeah.
Because I know, and at night, during night, I don't care. It's dark. Like, I still would want to see stuff on screen.
Hmm.
And, well, one thing I was kind of bothered by, I mean, what was going on with the eyes
Yeah.
sometimes?
The eyes.
Yeah, like sometimes the eyes were just so far from the, like, from the nose.
I think I get what you mean.
It just looked weird, like the placement. That's nothing too bad. It was just kind of funny sometimes.
Hmm.
It's kind of like this Dr. Stone meme, you know?
Yeah, Kohaku. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's funny. Um, yeah, I don't want to overhype the animation too much because it's just like, yeah, it's ufotable, it's good animation, and it was. Like, don't get me wrong. Um, there was the occasional still frame that did have that effect that you were mentioning. Um, I I will add on, like I mentioned before, this was their first Fate anime, and it also was their first like I mentioned, first like thing that mattered basically.
Hmm.
Um, but one thing I'll talk most about is the direction because like there were scenes where I was watching this and it felt like I was watching a movie and not an anime. And like that's kind of for better and for worse because personally for me, when I'm watching anime, I want to watch anime, not a movie. But that being said, I can't deny how like it felt really like thoughtful and it felt very cinematic and
Yeah.
it you could tell that like it was taking advantage of the fact that it's not adapted from a manga. Like this was an adaptation from a book. So
Hmm.
like it was really going out it was going all out there to make it feel like have that like cinematic movie feel, which like it did feel a bit jarring at times because I'm not used to that, but it honestly was very pleasing to the eye. Like there were like a lot of shots that just like hung on like a character's face for like a long time, and I was like, I really like how it's just showing this scene for like a while. Um, because I feel like a lot of anime just kind of like cuts to the next scene like very quickly. like like similar to like how you would cut to like manga panels. Like if you're adapting a manga and like adapting panels of a comic book, it's going to feel more like you're like jumping from panel to panel. Whereas like I I I I I I definitely appreciated how they, you know, like took a different direction and decided to make it like uh more like a book almost. Like but but yeah, like overall I think the direction and how it was executed like with the animation was really good. I I think uh you're definitely right about like the fact that it was dark. I think the visuals were oftentimes very dark, but I think that did kind of match the tone of the show
Yeah, the
because
overall theme, right?
yeah, because it's obviously a very I mean like as I mentioned earlier, it's basically a dark fantasy and like you see things in the show that are pretty upsetting. So it's like
Hmm.
it's definitely fitting with the dark fantasy vibe. Um and yeah, I'd say like honestly like I watch a lot of anime for the music and like for the voice acting. Like like I can deal with bad animation, but like I just want to say that my score for this show will heavily be influenced by the animation, and that's saying something because, like I said, I don't even value animation too highly.
Okay, then
But
I feel like I have a good guess what your score will be.
okay, I kind of want you. Do I want you to guess? Maybe. I kind of want you to guess it.
You want me to guess? So, do we want to go in opinions?
Yeah, I think we've talked about everything. So if we want to go to how you rate it, then I want you to guess what you think my score is, and I'll say if you're right or not, and then
Okay, so
I'll say what it is.
so you praised this show a lot, and
Yeah,
especially the animation and the voice actors, which is basically your main focus.
yeah.
The story was alright, and I think you thought kind of the same.
Yeah,
And I also feel like your rating will be higher than mine.
probably.
So I feel like it's not the perfect show, but you really enjoyed watching it. So I'd say you gave it an 80.
Dude, you got it. You nailed it. Dude, you know me, bro.
Yeah, of course I know you.
That is so crazy,
That's
dude.
hype, dude.
Dude, for the first time, you didn't ask me well what my rating is from 0 to 100 in steps of 5. You knew what it was.
I know your rating. Like that will be. I won't ask you. Tell me what's your rating. I'll just say I know your rating from 0 to 100 in
Oh
steps of
no.
5.
I kind of want to guess yours now, but if I get it wrong, then I'm gonna look I'm gonna look stupid.
Well, you can guess mine. It's
Oh
alright.
gosh. Oh gosh. Well, I feel like you kind of laid out the points of the fact that you're gonna probably like it less, so it's got to be less than 80. I don't. I I feel like you just kind of felt pretty like you thought it was good, but not great overall.
Mhm.
I I'm pretty sure it was above like a 50. Like it was above like just being average. Like I'm pretty sure you enjoyed parts of it.
Okay.
I think I'm gonna go with you gave it a 65.
Dude, you're correct. It's a
Did I?
65.
Did I? Yes, dude. Yes, I got it. Yes, dude. That is so hype.
Yeah, it is a 65 out of 100 for me.
Yes. Okay, dude. We have that on audio. We both just guessed our own ratings for this. That is so awesome, dude.
Yeah, I thought about giving it a 70, but then like the episodes just got longer and longer, and I was like so annoyed by it, so it dropped
I was
5 points.
I was about to say 70, but I was like, no, you know what? He was a little annoyed by this at the end. It was not it was either a 60 or 65. I thought. Dang, okay,
Dude, that's
that's
crazy.
we dude. That that is like we've never done that on this show. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, but it fits so perfectly here.
We're breaking new ground.
Hmm. And well, that's basically it with this episode. No long
Yeah.
talking about our scores since we didn't talk about our own scores.
We had our friend talk about our scores.
But we started a poll last week that decides which show we're gonna do for episode 12, I think.
Yes,
Yeah, for episode 12. And I think after we're done recording, I'll make another poll for episode 13. So I mean, when you're listening to this, there'll probably be the poll for episode 15 or something. But just so you've heard it, I'll just probably make another poll for episode 13, like after every record. So you can vote which show we do next. And, well, the poll for episode 12,
Drum roll.
drum roll please.
Insert
Our next show
will be
Maidens in Your Savage Season.
Maidens in Your Savage Season. Let's go.
Woo! And to be honest, I have no clue what to expect from this show. It sounds like a slice of life-ish comedy. Maybe.
So, as a slight, just like talking about this a little bit, I've seen this a long time ago, but I'm really excited to rewatch it because I remember liking it a lot, and I'm even more excited that you are watching because I think you will like it a lot. That's my prediction. I've said it here. Let's wait till next episode to see if you do, but I'm really excited to see what you have to say about it.
Well,
and I'm also
we'll see us. Oh, sorry.
Sorry to not end it there, but I'm also really excited that we had so much like responses for the poll. We almost had 10 people answered. It was 9. I think like 9.
Yeah.
9 responses. So I'm very excited about that as well. And thank you for everyone who filled that out. I was surprised that there was that many people. That's awesome. But yeah, we'll see y'all next week with Maidens in Your Savage Season.
Woo, see you in a fortnight. Bye bye.
See you in a fortnight. Sorry, Matane.